There are a couple of things here that are really interesting about the Nets and the mismanagement. They're 10 games over 500, and they've traded a couple of Hall of Famers in a week. And, David, I think I've got this right when I say you will find very few mismanagements worse than they had James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and all the transactions to get rid of them, they didn't get a star.
They got a bunch of picks. We don't know if they got a star.
Well, they still haven't gotten a star, though. We're watching that they got rid of those three guys, and they haven't gotten a star.
No, but that's the whole point of when you get rid of guys like that is you're accumulating picks. I'm not sure I understand why you're saying they're mismanaged. Are you saying because they never won together? Or because they didn't give in to the Durant trade request before the season started, or because they suspended Irving for all of his actions?
I'm saying
and the
they're
COVID
mismanaged
vaccine?
because in the history of transactions, there's been rare is the time in the history of sports that three talents like that have gotten together, and that's been the result. 7 total playoff wins.
Yeah, 16
I think
games
it's
together.
more rare that you do what Pat Riley did and you get LeBron, Wade, and Bosh together and have the success they had. There's way more examples of big threes who don't work out than big threes who do.
Did the Nets screw the pooch here? Because they could have gotten a king's ransom. I know for a fact the Miami Heat offered something better over the summer. But now Kevin Durant, look, there's arguments to not acquire Kevin Durant. He's 35. Dude has an MCL injury every couple of months. He's off an Achilles. How much longer is he going to be this good? My whole thing is this roster that the Miami Heat have right now presently is older. They're in win now mode. Where the win now moves. They haven't happened yet. I'm really frustrated by
the
this.
win now move was getting.
Are they a win now team? They've
Yeah.
got Jimmy Butler as their star, and they've got
Bam. They got Bam.
I mean, but
they got Tyler.
Bam's in his prime. Bam's young.
The Kyle Lowry move was a win now move.
That's what it was.
It failed.
Yeah, and that is ultimately like similar to how the Lakers are having to pay the price for that awful Russell Westbrook trade. The Heat are paying the price for the Kyle Lowry signing. It didn't work. It hasn't taken them like that was their big swing. Their big swing for this era was Kyle Lowry, and he is now probably a negative or even value asset that you're not going to get a ton from.
Terrible basketball player.
It could have just been what David said, that they didn't want to trade him in the East and that the Heat wanted to make an offer and they're just like, no, we'll send him to the West.
Or that Kevin Durant walked into the office and said, I want to go to Phoenix.
Guys, I'm Joe Side myself. Okay, they had a package that was certainly better than what Phoenix had. They had to have had a package. So that is just gross mismanagement from the Brooklyn Nets.
So what's the package then?
You put Tyler Hero in it.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
I mean, so Mikal Bridges and Tyler Hero, let's say they're commensurate players. Let's say
there's
that's
some
a
people
wash.
that like Mikal
Keep
Bridges
going.
more.
Right. I think that might be a fair assessment. But keep going.
Picks.
I
would have traded Bam. I would have traded Bam for Kevin Durant. This is about winning a title. Jimmy Butler is getting older.
So if you're Kevin Durant, do you want to step into a situation with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton, or a Heat team without Bam Adebayo? And you're joining
And
Jimmy Butler, and the rest of the crew, or do you want to join Ayton, Booker, and Paul?
Well, how's that team doing right now? And you can't count on Chris Paul.
Devin Booker's been out for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean they got a long road ahead of them too. I'd rather go to Miami.
That team in Phoenix was good enough last year to get to a Game 7 that before they short-circuited the last 2 years. That
Conference
team
semis.
has been close to championship good, and now add Durant.
And T.J. Warren.
They're in
TJ
win now.
Dan, what? This is the Godfather. This is the guy that makes a big move. He got Jimmy Butler with no cap space. I know what I'm doing is largely performative. I'm a huge admirer, and Pat Riley's the greatest. But the lack of movement and improvement from this team in this window, they made the NBA Finals a couple of years ago. What have they done to get better? They're just counting on Bam and Tyler to make massive leaps? It's not happening. They're barely as good as the Hawks.
Bam scored 38
Sometimes you
last
have
night.
to dance with the people you brought to the dance. And Pat Riley is famous for that since he's the one who coined that phrase.
Well, we're going to be off the dance floor in the
Starks is
second
going
round.
to go 3 for 18.
Max, we're going to be off the dance floor in the second round.
There are 3 teams better than them in the East, like clearly and obviously better, although many people, like Bill Simmons, are saying any team with Jimmy Butler scares the shit out of me, and Simmons is the Celtics fan.
Yeah, well, he's terrifying. If you talk to any Celtics fan, the shot that they didn't want to see was that Jimmy Butler transition 3 because he transforms in the playoffs. He's like Madison Bumgarner. There's no making any sense of it. In the playoffs, he becomes Jimmy Butler. I get it, which is why we want to make a trade and improve, because it's still not enough. It's not enough. The other teams got better. They got worse. Where's the Pat Riley that's going into the gunfight?
Mike, you think that he's not doing it because he can't do it, or not doing it because he's not allowed to do it?
Because he can't.
What?
Because he
It's
can't.
not that.
I think
I'm just telling you what it is. It's not that.
He has tried for 5 years to get Kevin Durant. He's
I
failed
don't think
every
you
time.
realize
He
the
hasn't been able
financial
to do it.
situation over at the Heat.
But they're already up. I mean, I don't think it's a financial thing. I think they have like close to $50 million in contracts that nobody would want. I mean, they're paying $28 million to Kyle Lowry. They're paying $16.9 to Duncan Robinson. They've made mistakes. It's made their roster worse. Their third and fourth highest paid players are not effective.
Oh.
And that is hamstringing their ability, and they have never been able to maintain their full amount of first-round picks. The NBA now, if you're trading for a big star, the biggest star in this case, you have to have all 4 of your first-round picks.
Preach.
And the Miami Heat have never had theirs since they traded for Goran Dragic. They have not had their full complement of first-round picks. They had to get to the one that they own now to OKC to get off of Hassan Whiteside so they can sign Jimmy Butler. It's always to fix mistakes. And that is why you have to have 4 unprotected first-round picks and probably chuck in a few more swaps, too, if you're getting a player of Kevin Durant's quality. And the Heat are not going to have their full complement of first-round picks until 2025.
I do have breaking
And
news.
thank God they don't. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been competing for titles these last few years.
I have breaking news, and maybe I should walk everything back, because it appears as though the Heat will join the Clippers and Bulls with potential interest in Russell Westbrook's buyout. So, my bad.
Slumming in the buyout market doesn't do it for you. I mean, it is pretty all or nothing on Kevin Durant over the last couple of years. They haven't made a trade in close to 700 days. But I will tell spoiled Heat fan Mike Ryan and spoiled Heat fans in general, you don't always get to be the team that gets the guy.
Yes, we are.
Sometimes
That's who we are. We are the team that gets a guy, whether it be Shaq or LeBron or Bosh. We always get the guy.
But who is creating that expectation? It's self-driven. If you follow Heat fans on Twitter, anytime a superstar becomes available, you Photoshop him with a Heat jersey on him, and you've already convinced yourself that Luka Doncic is coming to the Heat in 2 years.
Every team does that. This isn't wants stars. What are you guys doing?
Don't let Pat Riley off the hook.
For themselves.
Don't let Pat Riley off the hook. I've seen many a postseason press conference where the dude revels in this reputation. He revels in whale hunting. He's been fined for tampering on our show.
Because he does well, it doesn't mean he's always going to get him.
Yes, it does. He always does.
You don't think he tried to get Kevin Durant?
No,
of course he did.
No, he failed.
The Suns had a better deal. The Suns had a better package.
He's
and
never
it's in the
failed more.
West.
He has never failed more at anything than his pursuit of Kevin Durant. That guy has been handed L after L after L. And right now he has a roster that's not.
What time did you wake up this morning and start this?
I never went to sleep.
Did you see the trade happen last night?
I saw the trade happen, and I've been up since 1 a.m.
Okay, so you've been working yourself up. Is this the first thing you've recorded today?
I came in today and he was dancing, pinballing off of the walls.
Dancing on Pat Riley's professional grave.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
The professional was an important word there.
Yeah, because I love Pat Riley. And Pat, just know that I'm doing a thing. And I love you. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. But you don't get to throw your rings on the table and swing and miss 13 goddamn times on Kevin Durant. You don't. You're no longer the Godfather. You're no longer the Godfather.
2 days ago, or maybe 1 day
and you
ago,
drafted Justice Winslow over Devin Booker despite my tweets. I was tweeting for months, get Devin Booker. You failed. Failed the city.
What kind of bastard did you call Pat Riley a couple days ago when you were delighted at the prospect?
I called him a magnificent bastard because he'd played himself into the ideal scenario. The offer that was there for the Nets over the summer was no longer there. They had no leverage. Joe Tsai biffed it, and they were in prime position to get Kevin Durant. Finally, after all his failings, he was in prime position, and he got worked by some wet behind the ears, brand new owner that just strolls into the NBA and gets the second best player in the league. Dumb.
Are you rooting against the Suns now?
Fail the franchise, fail the fans, fail the city.